Hello and welcome to Kent Tonight live here on KMTV. I'm Ollie Leader and here are your top stories on Friday the 4th of July. A spineless move, KCC under fire following ban on trans books.
Cabinet members should perhaps be spending a little bit more time in committees, which they keep cancelling, rather than faffing about with books in libraries.
Change or disdain? What does the county think of Labour's first year in power?
Dramatically let down by these changes and these proposals that are being rushed through.
And the Kent County Show kicks off. We'll have the latest from the first day of celebration.
Weather's just right, it's not too hot, nice breeze. Everybody seems to be enjoying themselves.
First tonight, controversy at Kent County Council after the Reform leader Lyndon Cam-Carran said all transgender-related books have been removed from children's sections of its libraries. It comes after fellow Reform UK councillor Paul Webb said the books had been removed after a concerned member of the public had contacted him. Bartholomew Hall reports and says it's unclear which books have been removed.
I've today issued instruction for them all to be removed from the children's section of any of our libraries. They do not belong in the children's section of our libraries. Our children do not need to be told they were born in the wrong bodies.
This is Reform UK's Cabinet Member for Communities, Paul Webb, speaking to his followers on X to announce Kent County Council has removed all transgender-related books from the children's sections of its libraries. The move has quickly sparked opposition online, with a petition set up calling for the ban to be repealed.
It's disgusting, you know, from in the era that we live in now, and this nasty rhetoric, anti-trans stuff that's still coming and hitting the trans community, especially in Kent. You know, all I can say is I think that those people are the ones that need to be educated.
The leader of the council, Lyndon Cam-Carran, later joined the online discussion, writing another victory for common sense in Kent. This trans material has been removed from the children's sections of all Kent libraries. The book in question, The Autistic Trans Guide to Life. Its online description, written by the publishers, clearly states it's a book for adults. Meanwhile, a quick search on KCC's library directory shows it's part of the adult non-fiction collection. We cross-referenced the pictures posted by the council leader with these images from Herne Bay Library's online virtual tour. It appears it may have been displayed in a Pride-themed welcome section, rather than the library's colourful children's section.
We have a fantastic staff of very well-trained, very well-qualified librarians across Kent, and I'm sure that they ensure all books are in the right sections of the library, not least because that's the easiest way for people to find the books that they're after. Cabinet members should perhaps be spending a little bit more time in committees, which they keep cancelling, rather than faffing about with books in libraries and interfering with the day job of our hard-working librarians.
In a statement, Kent County Council told us staff at the county's 99 libraries have been asked to ensure that books are always stocked in age-appropriate categories and that no adult literature makes its way into areas specifically aimed at children, or where children will be selecting books such as the public welcome displays. The book has since been relocated to a section that is unlikely to be visited by children. It's unclear which books or how many have been affected by Reform's request, leaving many to wonder if this chapter is really closed on Kent's library shelves. Bartholomew Hall for KMTV.
Well, Shay Coffey, the founder of Medway Pride, joins me here for a bit of reaction. What do you make of this and what do you think this will mean for trans people here in the county?
What do I make of it? It's a bit of hokum, isn't it? It's a cheap, easy, quick bit of publicity for a political party. What does it mean for trans people? Yet again, trans people are the butt of something and they're fearful right now. There's no doubt that what we've seen over the last 2 years has been across media, across political parties, an orchestrated campaign that leaves trans people sometimes alone, often very frightened.
Because Reform UK say it's all about safeguarding, that's why they did this. Are there any safeguarding concerns? Do you not think they might have a point here?
They don't seem to want to safeguard anything else. They were safeguarding people from flags last month. This month it's a book that isn't in a children's section, that wouldn't be read by children, isn't catalogued for child section, and we've found a cheap and easy win that we can use to throw red meat to the faithful.
And with these books, do you think that this is going to be the start of something? Do you think there's going to be more stunts that mean targeting trans people, given that it has picked up on social media? People have been sharing it. Do you not think that this might be the start of something, a larger campaign by KCC around this issue?
Invariably, I'd like to separate KCC from Reform, because while they do indeed control the council, there's a lot of council staff that just don't agree with the way Reform are running things. That is easy to see on social media. Reform keep trying to stamp it down. Is it part of something larger? Obviously. We saw that in America. We saw it go from just being about books to being about teachers to being about politicians. And it's a thin end of a very large wedge, and banning books never ends well.
Do you think that this reflects a change in attitude from our politicians, or do you think it is a sense that there are issues, there are concerns that are valid around single-sex spaces that are rising to the forefront, or do you think it's a mixture of both?
I think to a certain extent it's a mixture of both. If you keep seeing scare stories in the media about shark attacks, you're going to be worried next time you go to the beach, but it doesn't mean that there are going to be shark attacks. It's very easy to get these stories into the media and stir up worries, stir up concerns. The thing you do actually stir up is hatred.
Well, Shay, thank you so much for joining us on the sofa here. It's a really important discussion, which you can follow on Kent Online as well. Thanks so much, Shay. Now, in other news, a man who claims to have no memory of abusing his 5-year-old daughter has been sentenced to life in prison. Baby Everly died after suffering a catastrophic brain injury, bruising to her mouth and multiple fractures. 25-year-old Thomas Holford has been sentenced to life for her murder with a minimum term of 16 years. Although he accepted responsibility for his newborn's injuries and that he was under the influence of cannabis at the time, he gave no explanation as to how or why he inflicted them. Today's sentence could mean he could be aged 40 when he is released. Now, a Ramsgate building left derelict for decades has been converted into a restaurant, bar and co-working space. The project at the old wine warehouse will create 40 jobs and 6 apprenticeships, with hopes for further restoration works of other empty buildings across Ramsgate. Well, I went down to the launch event to find out why this means so much to the community. The old wine warehouse, originally built by local wine merchants Page and Sons in the 1890s, has been empty for the last decade. But with the help of more than £400,000 in Kent County Council loans, a not-for-profit heritage organisation has brought the building back to life as a community hub designed to create 40 jobs.
A commonplace survey done recently by Ramsgate Town Council that trying to repair and restore and reuse derelict buildings was one of the top things that came up in the questionnaire of local people. So we know people care passionately about this, and we want to restore pride in the town. We want to create jobs. There's been no net job growth in this town for 10 years. So we want to support good jobs for local people, get more people using the town centre, supporting more local businesses, and help do our bit to get Ramsgate regenerated.
Where I'm stood right now is the new co-working space here at the old wine warehouse. People are already doing their working day up here overlooking Charlotte Court. And this is part of the regeneration process, encouraging people to come and use the facilities and generate growth for the area. And with 10,000 people expected to use all the facilities here in the building within the next year, it's going to get a whole lot busier.
What we've got here is the possibility of having a restaurant, having workspace, and indeed a bar, a place where people can come and share ideas. So this could well become the kind of creative hub that can really get things going. We've got so much creative energy here in Ramsgate. Having something like this will really harness that energy to make a difference.
One of the things I feel strongly about, it's got to be at the heart of the community, and we keep the community. We are the community. I live in Ramsgate, Rob lives in Ramsgate. We are people from the community working on it to keep it going. We constantly consult people, we're constantly talking to people about what we're doing and how we're doing it, and we want it to be at the heart of the community.
It means a lot. I think we've not even opened yet, and we've created 8 part-time jobs, working with the Restart scheme. So people have been out of work for quite some time, but it feels great to already be creating jobs, and we're not even open yet.
Having uncorked the warehouse's potential, Ramsgate Heritage Labs aren't planning to stop just yet. With the organisation in discussions with local authorities about bringing the East Cliff shelters back to their former glory. But for now, they'll be raising a glass to years of hard work finally paying off. Ollie Leader in Ramsgate. Always good to see a good news story just before the break. Apologies for that black frame there. Now, we'll be back after the break with thoughts on latest... The Kent Politics Show, live on KMTV. We're talking, hopefully, to a Medway MP. Join us every week with an array of guests.
I think the boundary changes have changed a great deal in Kent.
The Conservative administration have delivered the lowest council tax in Kent. We will continue to do that.
Discussing the things that matter most to you.
People do feel like they've been ignored by this government.
We do need something else to supplement wind and solar.
Catch the Kent Politics Show, only on KMTV.
Become a Kent Online subscriber for unlimited access to award-winning journalism from across the county. Browse the premium version of our website with no intrusive ads for uninterrupted scrolling on your desktop, mobile or tablet. Enjoy unrivaled coverage of news, sport and leisure in Kent, including content exclusive to subscribers. Read fascinating features in our in-depth section and head down memory lane by delving into our decades archive. Keep up to date with politics in Kent and Westminster and the latest on and off the field with our extensive sports coverage, including specialist Gills reporting. Enjoy weekly digital editions of all KM titles and swipe for the same page-turning experience as the newspaper. Download, share and print out the pages you want and tackle fun puzzles such as crosswords and Sudoku. Plus, unlock our extensive archive of past papers stretching back more than 10 years. Becoming a subscriber is easy. Visit kentonline.co.uk and click the subscribe tab at the top right of the screen. Choose the package that suits you with options to pay monthly or annually. Once you've signed up, check your email for a thank you message from us and details on how to get the most out of our subscription. Kent Online, news you can trust.
Hospital visits will be dramatically reduced.
And there's something about time in Imagining Autism. I call it a nowhere.
I completely adapted to being a hidden away rural homeless person. The system can't and doesn't cope with rural homelessness at all.
And I think that's a big barrier to young disabled people in terms of their aspirations and accessing science.
I think the Equiparakeet is a great symbol for what we should be doing on Mauritius, what we can do elsewhere in the world.
This is like a picture of me and my cousins when we was in Albania back to my nan's house.
Mirë, vëmë tek me menu me menjen tonë edhe me pa momentin e dur që kur më ik edhe policisë.
Hello and welcome back to Kent Tonight live here on KMTV. Today marks 1 year since Labour won 11 seats across Kent in a landslide election. The previously Conservative heartlands of Kent turned red, but with U-turns on welfare policies and an increase in both national wages and national insurance, how do people really feel about Labour's first year, having lived through it? Esley Reynolds has been out in Rochester for us.
1 year ago, Labour won the general election. The party took 412 seats, giving it a majority of 174. Here in Kent, Labour won 11 seats and the Conservatives lost 10. Previously blue parts of Kent, such as Folkestone and Hythe and Ashford, voted in Labour candidates. But how do the people of Kent feel Labour have done in their first year?
They've been a bit weak, haven't they? They started off being tough on benefits and stopping winter fuel allowances, but unfortunately they've U-turned on all of them, shown them to be weak.
Sometimes a change is good because it just tells you, that we needed something.
I think they're trying their best. I think there's definitely a lot of things they can improve on, but it's just got to see how it goes for the future, I guess.
He's not doing very well, is he, basically? Hey, winter fuel payments, all that's up in the air. No.
On a few of the things that he's cut and whatever, he's gone wrong to start with.
I think the obvious bits that he's not doing well, I agree with that. He looks as if he's not doing very well, Keir Starmer. But I think in the background there are a lot of things that he has done well that sadly he's not actually publicising.
Economically, Labour have increased national wage, which has helped many, but they also increased national insurance, which is affecting businesses' profits. But a focus on infrastructure, such as roads and trains, could help with economic growth.
Looking at their infrastructure strategy and industrial strategy, these are all things we've not had for several decades. So they've made some progress, but it's been slower going than I think they had originally hoped for.
Others feel this first year has let them down. Recently, Labour did a U-turn on their welfare policy. And the Dartford Kindness community recently hosted a Care Not Cuts coffee morning in response.
General consensus is that we've been ignored. A lot of people in the room voted for Labour, but still those people are feeling dramatically let down by these changes and these proposals that are being rushed through. And it all seems grossly unfair.
With mixed opinions across the county, many watch on to see if the next year will bring change or disdain. Esley Reynolds for KMTV.
Well, Esley joins us on the sofa now because it has been a tumultuous week for Labour after a year that's been a mixture of positives and negatives for the party faithful. Break down what voters in Rochester were telling you, because they were quite divided, and this was a Labour target seat back last year in 2024.
Yeah, it was I went down the high street, spoke to a plethora of different people, and there was a real mix of opinion. Now, before this general election, Labour had gotten a lot of seats during the general election, from a lot of places that were described as true blue. So these are places that had consistently voted Conservative, and from that, Labour managed, they won the election, and they managed to get a lot of red seats across Kent. And people in Rochester were saying a mix of things. Some people were saying that they feel even though it's a year on, it's too early to determine whether it's been a good or a bad government. Whereas some people were saying, they've U-turned.
Well, let's talk to someone who knows all about this. Tris Osborne, the Labour MP for Chatham and Aylesford. Thank you for joining us down the line. We know it's been a bit of a tumultuous process joining us today, but it's great speaking to you. I want to get your sense of it, because this week hasn't been the government's finest hour. There's been last-minute U-turns. There's been lots of concern from backbenchers. Do you think that this has been a good year? What have your party actually delivered?
Yeah, so I'm in Bluebell Village at the moment, so I've just finished, funnily enough, a residents' meeting with residents here, and I asked them exactly the same question. What are the positives and negatives? I think a lot of people want to give us more time. I think 1 year in, we've obviously begun the process of change, but some people aren't seeing that in their lived experiences. So we've got to get that money into the NHS to cut those waiting lists. The economy is growing, but people aren't feeling that in their pockets. So we need to have more trade deals to ensure that working standards and living standards increase. And also we need to improve schools, hospitals, and get rid of those potholes in our roads that are causing so many problems. So no one is claiming that this is mission done, mission success. We have got a shed load more to do, and the public are frustrated, and we need to prove every single day that we are working on their priorities. I'm under no illusion about that. And look, I understand the cynicism. I understand the media sometimes will portray, a tier as being more than that. But politics is a tough old trade. But I would ask people watching, give us more time, and you'll see the results.
I suppose the question would be, it says not mission done, but for many people it looks like mission impossible, because we've heard about U-turns on welfare, on winter fuel payments. We still know that there's billions of pounds to fill come the autumn, with worries about tax rises. Is this government got their hand on the steering wheel here? Because with backbenchers even concerned now, why should we trust the government if backbenchers aren't trusting the government?
Okay, so I don't know what the growth situation will be over the next 6 months. That will be for the fiscal event in November. So I'm not going to talk about ruling taxes in and out, because that is the same game that people say just when you ask people, will you or won't you? We won't know until the OBR forecasts are published later on in the year. And that's the same with any government. But the reality is that Labour MPs fully support Keir Starmer. We are not going to go through the same psychodramas and constant churn of leadership that the Conservatives went through with Rishi Sunak and Liz Truss and John. We've learned those mistakes. But of course, in a democratic party, there will be things where those on the left will disagree with each other on, and we need to have those conversations. And where I will say is on welfare, these are very difficult conversations about vulnerable in our community. We do need to reform welfare. The way it was handled could have been better, and I look forward to the Stephen Timms review, which will conclude where we need to be going forward. But I can tell you that the large majority of stuff that we're doing at the moment, all Labour MPs are on the stage, support Keir, Rachel Reeves. Just want to get on and deliver the change that people voted for us on.
Great speaking to you. The connections to get a bit fuzzy there, but thank you for joining us so last minute. It's great talking to you. We'll catch you very, very soon, I'm sure. Now let's take a very quick look at the weather for the weekend. Tonight, partly cloudy skies across the county, temperatures ranging between 16 and 19 degrees. Into tomorrow morning, clouds across the board, temperatures around 18, 17 down in Tunbridge Wells. Into the afternoon, much of the same, with temperatures rising to around 20 degrees. Not that sunshine that we were hoping for though, and for the beginning of next week, cloud and sunshine. And finally, from cattle to sheep to food stalls and news displays, the Kent County Show has returned. Henry Luck has more.
From big to small, the Kent County Show is back and ready to showcase the farming wonders found only in the Garden of England for one weekend at Detling Showground. This year's show even saw a visit from the Royal Duchess of Edinburgh, and some young farmers were lucky enough to speak to her.
It's very nice speaking to the Duchess. It felt very special to be kind of recognised as a federation. Obviously, we're very fortunate that the National Federation's patron is His Majesty the King. But it was nice to see it on a personal level and to hear her interest in what we were doing and how invested she is in the future of our members. It was very nice, very special.
For those who love nature on the wild side, the Kent Youth Trials Club demonstrated the spectacle of motorcycles.
It's a very friendly sport. As a club, we have events like this where we're all away camping for the weekend. We have about 4 what we call double headers, Saturday and Sunday competitions where we camp as well, and the children get on brilliantly. And in the evenings, they're away playing in the woods together, riding their bicycles together. You don't see a tablet or a phone. It's good. It gives them a real sense of community. My son who rides, he has more friends within the club than he does outside of the club.
There are also spots at the county show that teach the public the wide range of biodiversity found in the county.
In Kent we've got arguably more bumblebee species than anywhere else in the country, including 5 of the rarest, and so our work is to help both the common ones but also the rare ones with targeted projects to try and help them expand, and that's something that the general public can really help with through the actions they take in their gardens, at their workplaces.
The event has thousands of people showing up every July. But what do they think of the annual celebration?
It's brilliant. We've had a quick wander round, haven't we? It's good things to do.
Brilliant. It's fun. Weather's just right. It's not too hot. Nice breeze. Everybody seems to be enjoying themselves.
Well, obviously I've enjoyed looking at the sheep. They are the most fantastic selection of animals. I never realised there were so many different types of sheep.
Going on for over 100 years now, it looks like the Kent County Show still has plenty of steam in its engine. A visit to the Kent County Show wouldn't be complete without indulging in some delicious Kentish strawberries.